Yep.
Hello, welcome. We're not doing a full intro like we normally do with a lot of stuff. This is It's Fanbox, part of the Fanbox Podcast Network. We are going to be talking about Thunderbolts finally, because after all of that time, I was able to watch it before it got out of theaters. Like it's officially out of theaters today, I believe. So, we're getting ready for Fantastic Four First Steps. Let's get into Thunderbolts. Again, I'm Tony. You can find us on itsfanbox.com or fanboxnetwork.com to find out all the other shows that we're doing. We'll be doing TARDIS Talk, which is going to be a doozy of a talk tomorrow. I can just tell you right now, but we're not going to get into that because we're going to try to keep railed. So let's go ahead and get started normally. David, start us off.
Hey, I'm Xanatos1138 on all socials, mostly TikTok, Twitch, wherever basically. I do a bunch of different things for It's Fanbox. We just had the finale last night of the Andor After Show. It's a really nice talk with Chase Forward into the Black, who is also on It's Fanbox. Check out their content as well as a bunch of other stuff on the site. We do a lot here.
Awesome. And Jody.
Hi there, everyone. I am Johnny, also known as Marvelous Johnny. Y'all can find me on Twitch, TikTok, YouTube, any of my socials. Just go for Marvelous with 2 L's.
And just a huge shout out to Geek Renderer, who was in the comments 30 minutes before we even started the show.
Amazing.
That is impressive on so many different levels. There may be other people that join us. We don't know. We'll find out. It has been a little bit of time to talk about this. Now, mind you, I've watched the movie once. It's relatively fresh in my mind because I saw it last week. Johnny, how many times have you seen it?
3 times. Not as bad as Deadpool Wolverine, though. I watched that like 4 or 5, I think.
Okay, David, how many times have you seen this movie?
I have seen it once, and now I feel like I need to go see it at least one more time.
Okay.
It's still in theaters for me on Monday, so yes, you might still have time. Go watch it on Tuesday when it's like a toonie or something, or $2 for you guys. Y'all don't got toonies.
No,
we got like $8 ones at most, I think.
Oh, it's just
there's sometimes like $4 matinees some places somewhere, but yeah, I mean, you just have to find the right place. But yeah, it's coming out of theaters in the US, which is really strange because it got a really high Rotten Tomatoes score. I think it was like 95% when it came out, which is strange because when you have a ensemble team as of late, especially when there are females on the team, the number is relatively low on Rotten Tomatoes. And this wasn't an A-list team. This was a B-list team. It really was kind of the villains and the outcasts, and the people were like, what happened to that person? So this kind of did fill in the blank a lot for that, especially if you wondered what happened to Ghost or Taskmaster, which they did Taskmaster dirty. I'm just going to say it. But let's go ahead. Let's do general thoughts first. Honestly, you know what? Never mind. It's been in theaters long enough. If you haven't seen it yet,
for spoilers,
yeah, don't watch any further. We're gonna just
Marvel spoiled the very ending itself for everyone. It's fine for us to spoil it after
within the first weekend.
It was spoiled. It was spoiled for me. Like Rebecca, my wife, looked at me and said, "Did you know about this?" And I'm like, "It was spoiled for me the day after the movie came out." Like, yes,
so unfortunate.
Yes, and again, like the reason why normally I would watch opening night or at least subsequently following, we had family issues. We were in Nashville, and it just seemed like every time we were planning on going to the movies, things got worse. So yeah, it just happened. And family over, Marvel. But yeah, it's kind of crazy. I love the film. I really love the film. I didn't go in expecting the pacing or anything with this. I was like, I just wasn't sure. I knew that they were a team, that they were set to kill each other off. I knew that was the thing. I knew at some point there would be the whole New Avengers thing because that was there. And I knew Sentry / Void was the villain or was, involved. Other than that, I had no expectations, and I absolutely loved that about this because I sat there just not knowing what I was like. At one point, I thought we're going to be in that bunker the whole movie. I think, like, I'm pretty sure that was going to be 95% of the movie as I'm watching them getting ready to escape the place. I'm like, something tells me that we're not going to have a lot of locations on this film.
And we really didn't too, which is kind of enjoyable because like you feel the environment a lot more, I think,
Mhm.
right? But overall, I quite like the movie as well. I think I've got it somewhere in like my top 10 of the MCU films. So
I kind of wanted to see, like, when they went into that like mind prison thing. I kind of wanted to see Bucky's experiences because he didn't like make a comment. Just like, yeah, my life's been great. That was awesome.
yeah, I think we've seen enough of what Bucky's done. We didn't need to rehash that level.
yeah.
Plus, also remember he went on the apology tour,
Hmm. Yeah.
in Falcon the Winter Soldier. So,
Hmm.
it's not. He's kind of probably dealt with his demons a bit, which kind of worked really well in that entire realm of things.
Mhm.
I will say though, let me ask this, Johnny, do you have experience with Void in the comics?
Yes, and
Okay.
they do not look the same.
Well, honestly, they don't look the same, but is his power set the same as it is in the movie?
For Sentry, yes. For Void, he definitely doesn't do the Hiroshima bomb shadow things in the comics.
Okay.
He's just more visibly more destructive kind of
Okay.
situation, you know?
Yeah, I was kind of wondering because I think the only thing was like I going into Void because I don't have experience with him in the comics, but I was watching and I was like, okay, th- it was really impactful until you saw her go into the Void, and I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, the stakes aren't that high as I thought they were, because obviously there's going to be a way out of this. And I'm like, okay, because I will be honest with you, that one scene where the little girl just disappears, I'm like, oh, Marvel just killed a kid.
I
Like they
love
just
that shot.
killed a kid.
I actually really like that shot.
Uh,
It's so messed up.
I
Yeah.
I don't have experience with Void or Sentry either from anything, and just the scale on what they were describing and how they showed him just like wipe the floor with all of the Thunderbolts, and then to have that power just be like erase. I don't know, something about the presentation felt a little lame, but the end result was still pretty cool.
It gave me the Inside Out vibes
Oh my
as
god.
everything is going gray and going dark, the memories are disappearing, like that kind of thing. It also, I'm trying to think what other movie it gave me vibes of when I was watching. I can't remember. I can't remember at this point because I was thinking about it earlier. But it definitely gave me like I will say the stakes weren't as high at the end when you realize what's going on.
Mhm.
But I also think it wasn't so much the Void or Sentry being the problem. It was a lot of the fact that these characters had to deal with themselves.
Hmm.
We had to deal with them being either slash villains slash B list members, to the point where they had to be able to be heroes so that they could earn that new Avengers title. And because I mean, let's face it, we lost Steve Rogers, we lost Tony Stark. Well, until Doom comes into play. We've had a lot of like different characters, but these guys were ones that had been left on the side, and we're like, okay, well, what about these individuals? Like, we didn't hear anything about Ghost, sans Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yeah.
And you think like, so what happened? Did she, like, we don't know much about it, and like we don't know, what went on with her other than, oh, she worked for Valentina. So
But even then, like we didn't know she was working for Val until they announced Thunderbolts to begin with. Like,
Mhm.
how many
Mhm.
years ago now?
oh yeah.
Yeah, I was really looking forward to seeing more of Ghost because I liked seeing her in Ant-Man and the Wasp. I thought that was a really cool concept. I
Love
thought
the
like
actress.
yeah,
Mhm.
and like she explains her powers. I'm like, oh, you actually like there's a time limit on when you can do that. Okay, that's interesting to know. And then like, oh, cool, Taskmaster. Never mind.
Oh my goodness, yes. Like, there's a bunch of dude bros that are out there that are extremely happy that Taskmaster is off the game
I'm
field.
not gonna lie, I kind of am too, because now I'm just like, okay, now this gives us an opportunity to pull in like the comic accurate, jokey jackass Tony
Yeah,
Masterson Taskmaster.
that's one thing. Like, I did like the fact that she actually spoke,
Mhm.
because we didn't really get that in
Black
Black
Widow,
Widow.
not until
But
like the last second.
Yeah, and so that was good. But yeah, I definitely, regardless of what gender the character is, like you've got to have like the demeanor of the character. Like
Mhm.
she could have been absolutely a fantastic Taskmaster, being that jerk, being that, like kind of mockingly like antagonizing. Because one of the things the Taskmaster did was antagonize the heroes so that so you
Mhm.
could learn their skill set. It's kind of like Agatha, where she mocks the witches to steal their powers. Like
Exactly.
Taskmaster antagonized heroes to learn their abilities to best them. So yeah, there's that in there. But yeah, I did like the fact that I liked the trauma measuring contest between the. Oh, she's like, yeah, I was trapped in like a quantum state, blah blah blah, and doing this, and
Like,
trying to figure out my
okay, let's
powers.
not play the whole, my backstory's worse than yours.
Yeah, it's like, let me pull out the tape measure real quick, but
Yeah.
but yeah, it was a lot of fun, like seeing that with them, and I liked Bob just being Bob.
Bob just like, sorry, it just got really tense in here.
Or like they're trapped in the shaft and they're trying to, they're trying to figure out what to do next. And oh yeah, I didn't think about this. And
When he's trying
Or
to
him
hold
just
back the
going,
sneeze.
cucumber.
Yes, cucumber, cucumber. And then they
And
all
then
start yelling
everyone
it.
else starts yelling it except for John.
yeah, he's just thinking about trying to jump up to the ledge,
And he just goes for it, which, like, you know what? It kind of worked. But at the same time, they definitely would have died before he got up there.
I was afraid him being a hero in this film was gonna make him more likable, and I felt like there's not really a redeeming. No, no, they make him just as hateable.
But
Like
he's still likable, is the weird part.
he's you can root for what he's doing, but you hate the way he does it and who he is.
Mhm.
Like, I hate your guts, but you're serving a purpose. Like, I know a lot of people like that in my life. So it makes perfect sense. Like, you've got some of those people. Um, but yeah, like I just didn't like him. And then like his trauma experience is doom scrolling while his daughter's crying.
God.
Yeah,
His
just
is just like, yeah, no, I'm neglecting someone. Yelena's is, I helped murder a girl. Ah!
Like every other person's trauma that she saw was like had bad things happening to them. His was just him being a jerk.
Yeah.
Like it was just, I
yeah.
loved it.
He was like so consumed with the bad press that he was ignoring his baby. Then his wife comes in to do the job, and it's like, fine, you do it. And he leaves. Like, you're not. It's not very
This is-
sympathetic at
you-
all.
I just realized something with him. That's right. Everybody else's experience was trauma, like dealing with trauma that happened to them. Him being the bad dad was not what he was supposed to see. It was him looking online, seeing people hate him.
Yep.
That's how shallow the dude is. Like,
I
we're seeing like, wow, he's a terrible father. He's so, all he probably saw in that moment was everybody hates me. It's just so sad. Like, he didn't even probably register the fact that he's a bad dad.
I think his is just the fact that he's a bad dad and that the wife took the child away while at it.
Mhm.
As
And
it's
of
later
course, it's like,
revealed.
because if you don't like the way I'm doing it, you could do it yourself. Like, oh my goodness, like
He's
he's
a
not.
jackass.
He's absolutely like, and then he's like wanting to leave Bob behind, and I'm just like, wow, wow.
Yeah.
Um, I love Alexi.
Yes.
Absolutely,
The Red
the
Guardian.
and just the ending with the Wheaties box, like
That part was funny. But my favorite part is just him going like, so what kind of super soldier serum did you get? It's like, I don't know, Hydra, basics. And he's just like, Hydra.
he's like, I got the regular kind.
He's like, oh, I got the Soviet Union's version of it.
Yeah. And I love how his limo is like to save from bad night. It's like,
Yeah, that was so
that
good.
that phone number actually works, and
It does.
it
it's just
does.
it's a nice ad for the movie, but it is really funny.
Yeah, it's just kind of fun him like talking to you about his limo service. I like that. Yeah. Yeah.
And his fleet of 2, he has 2 limos.
Mhm.
Well, at
Yeah.
least he can still keep the business going after New Avengers then.
Yes, 1 left.
Oh, and the fact that he knows that Valentina is gonna kill off Yelena and everybody else, and he goes to save the day, but he's like
Right.
drastically like
You know he's
excessively
late.
late.
Yeah. But hey, it's the thought that counts, and the fact that he drove all that way.
And she's like a typical like embarrassed daughter.
Oh no.
He's like, Yelena, it's your dad. I loved it.
Oh
She
man.
knew he was coming for miles too. Just
He's like, oh no, like they're probably sitting there going like, oh no, is it something bad? Is something? Are we in trouble? It's just her dad.
Here's the funny thing that I found out watching behind the scenes stuff. That scene where Yelena gets them to all get down, when they were filming, they landed on a nest of scorpions.
oh.
Someone had to run over to floors and just whack it off of her because it was climbing up her combat boots, luckily.
Oh wow.
Thank God she wasn't a dress or anything.
Oh yeah,
That-
yeah. No,
I mean, she jumped off a building, so
Yeah, she
yeah.
also jumped off second highest building in the world.
Yep, in Dubai. I did like that scene. Like it just the fact that like she's like talking like I go to work, I do this, I do that, and she's like doing all this stuff, and of course in Yelena fashion, she's got somebody gagged and tied up, and she's
Mhm.
like just like counseling, like you're gonna be dead anyway, so I'm just gonna tell you everything about myself.
And then she rescues the little animal because Yelena loves her animals.
Mhm.
By the way, did you guys notice? And like, I mean, both of you guys have only seen it once, but like in the very first scene of Yelena in that building, if you look
Mhm.
behind her, the bomb shadows are still there.
Yep.
It wasn't just in the nightmare. I'm like, okay, so that was what I thought it was.
Mhm.
So a lot of I don't know. I like the planning. I like the planning.
Oh yeah, I also liked the way they have to resolve it. Like it was so him sitting in his attic. I remember what it was. It reminded me of the ending scene of like Ready Player One when he gets the golden egg. He's like in the guy's like childhood room,
Mhm.
and like it gave me that vibe. But I like the fact that you have to like go from trauma to trauma, and it was like breaking through, and the fact that these guys hated each other, but then they all realize as Yelena goes in, she did it for a reason. There must be something more. Like let's go after her. Like I like that a lot about them because like even though they were, I mean, she was being massively mean
Mhm.
after they failed going after Sentry the first time. Like they all picked up and they. I'm talking like this is a real thing. It's just a movie, but like they picked up and they did what they needed to do.
Yeah. No, that scene where we just get heroes saving people, I'm like, fuck, we need more of that in the MCU.
Yeah.
Like last time I can remember it was in Shang-Chi on the bus fight.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Don't know
Okay.
when else they really had it. But yeah.
It also makes me wonder, like, where does Daredevil fall into this stuff? Because we know that New York City's been locked down
Yeah.
I
from
think
vigilantes and heroes.
I mean,
I
they're
think
not really they are
no.
public facing, right? But at the same time, it's
Okay.
like you're really gonna try to like stop the Avengers here, Fisk. Like, really? Okay, you can try. This one's run by the CIA though, and the other one's not even in New York.
Well, now it's going to be the new Avengers versus whatever Sam is trying to make, and then the young Avengers. There's a bunch of Avengers.
Apparently, they're being called champions. It's rumored.
Hmm. Well, we've got Avengers Tower back though. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, I'm curious that they made the new logo and they just stuck it out there as well.
Yeah. How'd you feel about the new logo?
Like the very sharp A. It's
Yeah.
fine.
I will say I really liked the way the door opened. Like that was.
It's so extra.
Oh, of course.
It reminds me of the X-Men door where it's just like a plus and it just turns and it makes an X and then it like opens in 4 ways.
Okay.
Extra. It used to belong to Tony Stark, so I mean, yeah, it's extra.
Okay. So they also made the room smaller. Like the ceiling is lower. It's a
Yep.
complete like whereas it was once like vast and open. But I love that Alexi is pulling like a Johnny Storm like
Oh
Avengers
god.
outfit with like
With a
brand
Z
deals.
and then yep.
The brand
He looks
deals.
like a NASCAR driver.
Yep. Just remember like reminded me of Rise of the Silver Surfer when he had like the brand deals and stuff on him.
Yes, I remember that. God.
Such a good
But
bad movie.
And then, speaking of Fantastic Four, they just show up at the end credits.
Yep.
Or the
Who
ship
knows if
does.
they're in the ship though?
Yeah.
Oh, they've got to be.
Maybe, or it's just the baby. They fucking Superman it.
Ooh,
Hmm.
man. Because I mean, it that tells me that whatever happens in Fantastic Four, they fail at whatever they're doing. But maybe it's something else.
Well, okay. So Will made a good comment in our Discord chat, and I'll say it out in public, so because people aren't in the Discord chat.
Mhm.
It doesn't necessarily mean that they lost. It could just mean that whatever they do at the end of the movie, they end up throwing them, like they could have saved the world and then got thrown into a dimensional shift or something, and so they just like whatever they did to defeat Galactus knocks them out of their world and into the MCU proper.
This might have been Doctor Doom related, but I remember reading in a comic panel or seeing just a piece of it where the panel's literally turning white because whatever Earth they're on is just getting wiped
Getting
out of
erased. Yep,
existence.
that's in
Yeah.
the Secret Wars.
Yes, that's what I was
Yeah.
reading. Yeah.
Now this is also shortly after the events of Captain America: Brave New World.
Yeah.
They're still working on rebuilding the Washington Monument. There's still talk about different stuff, and I guess
They mention Red Hulk.
mhm,
Yeah.
and so it's it's got to be shortly after, which would make sense because I think because the end of the film where we see the new Avengers logo and we see the Fantastic Four ship, that's 18 months after the ending of Thunderbolts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it would
So it
make
would-
sense because was it Isaiah Torres? Is it Isaiah?
Isaiah Bradley or
There's
No.
and then
Joaquin
there's
Torres?
Joaquin Torres.
Yeah, Joaquin
who's
Torres.
the
There we
new
go.
Falcon.
Yeah, so Torres is still injured. Sam, I think, was with him for the recovery, and they were going to talk about building the Avengers up. So while he's probably waiting for Sam or for Joaquin to heal, this all happens with the Thunderbolts, and then they announce themselves as the Avengers.
Mhm.
So
And Bucky and Sam are not like I don't know if they're not on good terms or if they're just having an argument, but that's what Bucky was saying. It's like, yeah, he didn't take that well.
yeah, but I kind of wonder, like, why don't they work together? Like, is it because they're basically working with Valentina and Sam doesn't want that? I know Sam in the comics never liked working with the government in the first place.
Mhm.
So if it's a government sanctioned Avengers team, that would make sense.
Yeah, because isn't Valentina? She is still part of the, even though
She's still part of the CIA. Yeah.
she's
Yeah.
still part of
It's
the
just they own her now.
CIA. It's like, yeah, because we own you now, is what Yelena says.
hmm
And
Which I guess Sam's just not open to hearing Bucky out then.
that might be something that gets like quickly resolved in whatever project comes next, where they're all in it.
Yeah.
Like
Could
they all
be.
have to work together or something. So,
I mean, next project after FF is Spider-Man, but that's apparently much more grounded. And then after that, it's Doomsday in December now.
Right. Which is a good sign. I would rather them take more time making sure it's done well than them rushing it. Which also it ends up pushing Secret Wars, which I think is a good thing as well. But yeah, I mean, I get it. So here's the question that I want to pose. I mean, because we can keep talking about the film. So objectively, according to box office numbers, this film is kind of considered a flop.
Yeah, right. Just ahead of the Marvels, apparently.
Right. And the Marvels suffered from really poor marketing. It was right after SAG-AFTRA strikes.
Yeah.
Like there wasn't anything done. It was just like, oh, the film is being released, oh, the strikes are done. We can actually go to the red carpet, but yeah, it's whatever. And so
No, they weren't even at the red carpet.
That's right. They weren't, because it was still kind of like,
It's like the day SAG-AFTRA ended the strike was the day the movie came out.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. So that's kind of sad. At the same time, like Thunderbolts had a lot of marketing.
Yeah.
A good bit of marketing. And I mean, it did well, to start off. It looked like it was going well. It didn't have as much of a drop off on the second week. Um, but yeah, it just I kind of I'm wondering like, are we at a point now where Marvel just needs to start lowering their budgets for their films and stick to more
I mean,
practical
this
in
one was
some cases?
made pretty cheaply, I hear. So that's good.
Mhm.
Meaning, because, it's compared to the Marvels where, like, it costed about as much as Endgame, or no, Infinity War, I think.
Okay.
But, I think also a big thing to consider right now, and I'm gonna throw you guys under the bus here, but it's because it's also, like, 350 million is the global box office number. That includes China and everything.
Mhm.
China kinda doesn't like you guys right now.
No, it makes sense.
Makes sense.
So the likelihood of them watching an American film, which Chinese government paces out the amount of content they get there. So like if it's an American film, they only get so many to show, and they usually choose the big blockbuster ones like Thunderbolts.
It's
So yeah,
it's an interesting statistic because I thought of it going, man, I think I like the Marvels more. I think I enjoyed watching the Marvels more than this.
I do too.
I will say that the plot was very simple for this
Mm,
film, and I think it benefited from that because I think the only thing that I felt like with the Marvels was they shorted us a little bit with some of the storyline.
yeah, and then we
Um,
have Darben as the villain compared to this, where it's Valentina, maybe Bob, who knows? And I kind of like that a bit more for in terms of like the antagonist of your story.
yeah. And so like I get it. Like now this kind of runs into something that I didn't prepare any of you guys for. Do you think as of now this is more of a global issue like with like American made films even though it is what it is, um or is this an indicator of superhero fatigue?
I think it's a global issue, honestly, right now because like Brave New World made a fair bit, and I feel like well, what came out before Brave New World? Oh, right, Deadpool and Wolverine.
Uh-huh.
So I feel like maybe there was a bit of riding high from that one, and then Brave New World comes out, and it's just, in my opinion, Brave New World not a stunner film, not really that
Right.
good.
Plus
So the fact
there
that
was a lot of
it's
controversy with it too, so
yeah, so
Yeah,
I'm surprised the amount that Brave New World made was higher than Thunderbolts, whereas this film is miles better than that.
yeah, and that's honest. That's a good point because there was a lot of criticisms for Brave New World. Now, mind you, some of it was because of the isms, but there also is there is this level of there was controversy and stuff going on. So, how did this do better when this was Thunderbolts was? I would say I liked. I'm saying this publicly for the first time because I've been trying not to talk about Brave New World. I like Brave New World for the most part. Certain character did need to be in there,
mhm.
but and also it was basically Winter Soldier all over again. But put that aside, um, I feel like Thunderbolts was the more solid film.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, I
Almost that.
personally, based on my own thought process, I will watch superhero movies until I die as often as they come out, as long as
Mhm.
you take the time to make a good storyline, like, even the worst Marvel movie, I think, has been fun
Oh,
fun to watch to some capacity.
oh, listen, go back to the '80s and watch Howard the Duck.
Yeah.
Early
I own
'90s.
that
Like
movie.
I don't. I need to get it though.
It's like a drug trip. I'm not even joking. It's
Oh,
great.
listen, I used to watch it nonstop on television when it was because it would be on like it would be on cable,
Hmm.
like you watch on like TBS or TNT or whatever. But I didn't realize that they kind of like they censored out the duck nips. It's like I remember going to that scene where he's being like taken through his apartment building. I'm like, oh, they went there. Like, what was George Lucas thinking?
I don't know. George Lucas saw Howard the Duck and just
Okay,
went, he fucks.
okay, so I read the book, the history, the story of Marvel Studios. Do you understand that Howard the Duck is the reason why Pixar is with Disney?
Yep.
Like he had to take loans, or he had to sell stuff in order to pay for Skywalker Ranch because Howard the Duck was such a box office bomb that and the thing was he wanted to do it. He wanted to do it faithful to the comics, and the executives were like, no, no. Like he had to fight for it not to be a cartoon. And honestly, I think it probably would have done better off as a
I
cartoon.
was gonna say you could have gotten a lot away with a lot more as a cartoon.
Yep.
Jesus.
Yep. I just remember like feeling really weird about the sexual tension between Howard the Duck and Marty McFly's mom. Like,
Oh right, I forgot that was her.
and when she started calling him Ducky, I was like, I can't deal with this. That's why
Oh,
that movie, and I think Space Jam are the reason why there's so many furries out in the world today.
100%.
See, I
That and
didn't know.
Zootopia.
I just knew about Howard the Duck and Darcy from What If. I didn't know about any of this.
Yeah, at least that one's voiced by
Oh,
Chris from Family Guy.
Yeah.
Seth Green.
Yes.
yep.
Seth
There we
Green. I
go.
was like, wait,
To which my
that's where you
wife,
know him from?
to which I still love that story. My wife met him and acted like
Oh my god, yeah.
she's like, and who are you? And he's like, I'm Seth Green. She's like, oh, that's nice. And she turned around.
So you just said hi to Howard the Duck, Chris, and the guy
She's
who
like,
created Robot Chicken.
I'm like Austin Powers, Robot Chicken. She's like, oh, okay, sure.
Scooby Doo too.
Yep, yep. She's like, oh, that's who he is. And when she tells the story, if I'm not telling the story, she always gets his name wrong, which I think is hilarious. She actually called him Hank Green once.
Oh my god. Oh, that's wild.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You call him Tom Green, you'd be a little bit closer.
Oh god.
Oh man.
I'm sure that humbled Seth, but
he was
yeah.
he was definitely put out. Like I knew who he was. I got his autograph on the Star-Lord helmet.
Oh,
But
nice.
but Rebecca's like, and who are you? And I love that. I love that. It's my favorite story ever. So
But back to Thunderbolts.
right.
What else was there? There was Bob.
Uh-huh.
We need to talk more about Bob. I freaking love Bob.
I did too. Like I even loved how they ended it out. Like it's like, okay, so he dealt with his trauma. Like the dude needs to be counseled. So what are we gonna do? We're just gonna give him a recliner chair in Avengers Tower.
Let
And
him
like
read. He can do the dishes.
yeah.
Nothing's wrong with that.
It's like, I would go, but I don't want to let my darker side out.
I love the newspaper articles. Like, who is this Bob with the Avengers?
I like even before most of that though, like things like Bob just clapping with the crowd when she announced the new Avengers.
And
That
you
was
saw
great.
Valentina look at him like,
She's like,
you
huh?
almost you were gonna kill me, but
I guarantee you, part of her was just thinking, like, he can snap my neck right now with him behind me.
well, that's the thing. Like, he's just Bob there. He's not even Sentry.
He
Like,
doesn't even know about Sentry.
He doesn't even know how to use his powers at this point. Like you can tell, like explain. And I love the fact that Lexi's like, he's like, you could fly and we could ride him.
Ride the Sentry into battle.
He's so unrealistic. I love that humor for him. I think having a character like that, it's almost like Deadpool.
Yeah,
Like it's just the fanboyish of
Mhm.
being excited to do things. That makes me happy in so many different levels with him.
I will say you could probably ride in on Sentry's back if you wanted to, because frick, Lewis Pullman was working out. His abs were insane after they all shot him.
Let's see here.
Are you looking for them?
No.
Okay. Oh yes, Songbird.
Yep.
I don't know when they would do anything with it, but I'm glad it's Geraldine playing the character. She's a wonderful actress, right?
Yeah. I also like that. Like that was the thing, like the moral dilemma of it. And then she's like, but then she decides to like work for Val and do
It
what
still
she's
helps, and just goes, I want to raise. I'm like, valid.
claiming. Yeah, absolutely. I like it. Bucky is a congressman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that did not last long. Apparently, half a term.
Bucky, yeah, he said something about his what was the word he kept repeating in like the press?
Oh yeah, I can't even remember. But like, I just remember it being really funny because he just keeps repeating and just like, "We're sure," to just get this right because it's
oh yeah,
so
it's very
important.
concerning. It's very concerning.
Oh
Or,
yeah.
yeah, or
John
distressing. I
John
think it
Walker.
was.
Is
Yeah.
that Bucky? Yeah. Oh shit.
that was such a
Or
good
you have
delivery.
Alexa. He's like, I'll sleep when I'm dead. He's like, how about we not die today?
John was so unintentionally funny a lot of the times, but also it's great whenever John gets roasted because you can't help but laugh in his face. Like when Yelena goes like, "Fuck you, Walker. You're a piece of shit. Your family knew it too." Every single time I heard it, I turn into the meme of just the entire crowd going, "Oh!" And even for Bob to go like, "Ha, you're Captain America," it's just you're such a dick.
I'm trying to think like, so okay. Can we also just like go into the fact that he's like completely oblivious to the fact that they were sent there to kill each other?
He was very
It
oblivious of
took
it until much later.
Ghost and Yelena figured it out pretty fast.
Yeah.
Now mind you,
And John's just in denial, going like, "I'm too important to be killed."
yeah. And then what was the purpose of Yelena like sitting on the fact that there is a human shaped box that's that's open and then Bob just appears? Like she
I
could
don't
have
think
like
she saw it. Did
or
she?
was it her or was Ghost?
No, it was John.
Was it John?
It was John because after he freaking yeets away the table off away from Yelena and then gets thrown
Okay.
into it a little bit more, he sees it and just like, "Huh."
Okay.
Oh wait, no. It's when they're looking for the switches to turn off the sound field to get
Okay.
Ghost out.
Okay.
That's when he sees it.
Okay.
My bad.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, and
Just
let's
flipping the
just
table is what lets Bob out.
okay. On your left.
John says it and punches. Yeah. Yep.
I
I
hated
tap my
him
friend on the
more.
shoulder. I'm just like, you get it?
I hated him so much more after that.
I loved it. I'm just like, Jesus, people are not going to be happy. And lo and behold, I was right.
It's like they were trying to be offensive in a lot of ways, and I think that was great about it.
Was it? I watched an interview where even Wyatt Russell went like, "No, I can't do that. That's not right. That doesn't seem right." And they're like, but the director just goes to him and just goes like, "Yeah, no, but like we need something here when you're just coming in to hit it. So like just so they added it in through ADR."
Oh, and let's not even forget to talk about the fact that like one thing that kind of took me out of the movie in a good way. Like I was like, okay, this is sheer like Monty Python, like stupid comedy, like you pull out the thing is like it's like not it's like this is non-lethal. It's like, but we worked so hard on making this lethal. Like we put so much in it. Like really, you're like that could be an actual conversation going on right now. Like he's pleading the case, like, but we did everything we could to make it lethal. Like what? It's just
He was so sad about it, like a lost puppy.
it's like when I sat there, I'm going, is he really saying that? Is that really coming? Like, is that who thought it was a good idea to put that in the script? And I'm like, but I like it. I like
I
it.
like it. It says he dies later on anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he gets shadowed in the helicopter and it fucking crashes.
Or
I don't
he,
know if
like-
anyone gets to come out of that.
Yeah. Well, no. With Infinity War, there was always the joke of like people like reappearing in the sky, but I'm pretty sure like when they snap them back to whatever. Bob didn't have that kind of control.
No,
Like-
everyone just came back. Luckily, it just as it retracted. So unless he was just when he came back, he was just in burning rubble of a fucking helicopter.
Yeah.
Next MCU villain in a few movies, maybe. I don't know.
Scarred face, Crossbones 2.0.
No, please no.
I wouldn't mind seeing Crossbones again, honestly.
And for no reason, he goes, "Damn you, Tony Stark."
I crashed into your tower.
Yeah, man. I'm trying to think. What else is there to talk about with this movie? The politician I didn't like. The one that was trying to do the whole like, but you know what?
By the book
It was a
thing.
big satire on like senators,
Hmm.
for the impeachment. Oh, but we got a package. We have a really special pack.
Read
Like
the package, Bucky.
that is really absolutely how things are. And I really feel like Bucky was looking for an excuse to get out of doing the congressional stuff because he just couldn't handle it. Um, and then when he gives the girl the business card,
Oh my god, yeah.
It's like,
it's
what is
like
this?
because it's like, what is this? Like, who does this still? It's like
He's
he's 90 years old. Give him a break.
he's so nonchalant, but I love that about him because you can tell he's actually like he plays it off in some way that kind of works. But because it's from a different generation, people are just like this there's a better way to do this, dude. It's great. But also just the Bucky and John kind of a fun team up in this movie.
Can I just say right now? I'm gonna take us off screen for a minute. Was silent. I want you to look at the placement of Taskmaster and tell me they did not do her wrong. Like they were hinting at us. Like just look at this.
But that's us again.
But you knew like the way she's just kind of hidden back there. Like
I mean, I feel like I knew during the Doomsday announcements where they announced every other member of the team except for Taskmaster's actress.
Yeah, there was
good point.
all these talks of like, oh, what? Why is she suddenly not in a bunch of the trailer? What is happening? Why is
Well,
there a
no,
blank spot?
there was the scene where the team is talking to Val in Avengers Tower, right?
Mhm.
And Taskmaster was in the original first trailer, and then later on they just got lazy and didn't use that edited footage. So then every other one was just had her gone.
Hmm.
But like, here's the thing: like, Taskmaster was originally going to live, and she was going to have like a buddy buddy situation with Ghost and John, and have this fun thing where she suffers from amnesia. So she keeps trying to kill John,
Oh, that would have
but
been funny.
that would have been funny, and I would have loved that. However, another plot point of that version of the script involved John getting super soldier or no, gamma radiation put into him, like Red Hulk and the leader, and then he was supposed to turn into freaking A Bomb, and then it was going to be the team fighting another Hulk-based monster, kind of like in Brave New World.
So John was gonna be the big bad.
Yeah, and I think there was something about him still working for Val at the time, and like he was the secret mole or whatever.
I'm glad they
It
didn't do
reminds
that.
me of like Suicide Squad way too much now at that point.
Yeah,
Because that's
It
basically just him being Peacemaker.
it
yeah,
was
no, that pretty
it,
much
it,
is.
it was almost like when Endgame came out, and it had that whole big fight at the end. All the heroes came back, everything happened, and they all charged in. And then shortly after, the Rise of Skywalker comes out, which is Star Wars, and all the
They do
ships
it with
show
the
up at
ship.
the end, and I'm like, this is just Endgame, but with spaceships. So like, I'm really glad they didn't go that direction in Thunderbolts.
Yeah, no, same.
Can we also talk about the fact that like, what is Yelena going to do to help that wall not fall down on them? Like, I get it was symbolic, but like, you've got super soldier serums going through some of that. I get that, but Yelena, what are you doing, Yelena? Like, what are you
She's
going to do to help that
a
wall?
5'3" strong Russian woman.
Yes,
She's
yeah,
fine. She'll be
but
fine.
I was
She's been
like,
doing leg day,
yeah, yeah, and she's eating her mac and cheese.
and she's eating her mac and cheese. See,
Yeah,
you can have carbs when working out, people.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, but overall, I enjoyed the film. I'm surprised it did not do as well in the box office, but talking about like the way things are going globally for US, I get it.
I guess we'll really see with Fantastic Four,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
because they haven't stopped being dickish. So I'm pretty sure most of the world's still mad at you guys. So
Oh.
should be in effect until July at least.
I had a fun time with this movie. I think thinking back on it, and I know there's fans of this movie, and I'm not just saying I'm not disparaging anything, but the only time I've ever left a Marvel movie kind of just confused and wanting for more was in Eternals.
confused anymore. Like
just okay, they're gonna set stuff up, but I was just confused about the point of the Eternals, and then they're finally in Brave New World. They had the Celestial come back, but that was it. That's
and we
that
haven't even
only
talked about
happened.
the fact that a giant celestial appeared in the atmosphere and you know
It's
was
fine.
calling for the judgment of the world. We're not going to talk about that.
No one else knows is the issue.
Yeah, I just feel bad for the people that were south of the equator because they were seeing the lower torso.
Yeah.
Man.
Jesus.
Is that a giant twig and berries?
I imagine Tiamat's all curled up, not man spreading.
It's like an Austin Powers skit. That looks like a giant
pecker.
The eastern wooded pecker.
Oh, God,
look, it's like Celestial Peak.
Yeah. It's like it's cold in space. It gets bigger.
They go like, is this a third leg?
Oh man. I guess we're done talking about the Thunderbolts.
I mean, what else is there to talk about besides the fact that it's really freaking good?
It was really good. I really enjoyed it. It was definitely a nice departure from it was a nice departure from some of the stuff. But yes, Sentry's a superhero baddie, or
Sentry's a good guy.
His issues. He's a good guy. He's a little bit Sentry kind of Valentina messed him up a little bit about ego and stuff, making him think he was a god. Bob is a delight. The Void
Sentry is a god. Early, he's god tier.
So I mean, all of that was cool, but I loved how a lot of the issues that they were facing were grounded. It was very simplified, and instead of having a giant last battle, the fact
what the frick could they have done?
But the fact that they all rallied together to help this guy who's got mental issues, that's consuming the entire city, but they got past themselves and were holding him back, saying it's okay, you can let go, you can stop. Like, that was kind of therapeutic for me.
Yeah.
Johnny, you made a comment because of the stuff that's kind of been going on in my life, that this movie would be therapeutic. And I
did. I forgot I said that.
Yeah. So,
and I'm glad that it was.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, it was and I love the fact that Yelena at the beginning, she figures it out later on, but she's like, listen, we've all have the darkness and we all deal with it. And he's like, well, how do you deal with yours? And she's like, push it down real deep, bury. I love that. Cause she's like, I don't know, but I'm going to tell you to do this because that's all I can do right now. And then she figured it out and she's like, this isn't right. And that was cool. I like that.
Yeah, it was honestly great as well because the way they visually tell that story to begin with as well, when Yelena's just going through that hallway having her fight and the guards are just coming in from the shadows. There's a lot of thought in this movie and you can see it.
Yeah. I love the set pieces for the mental issue, with them going through. I love the fact that things kept hitting them they're trying to get away, and it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
I will say though, what do you think other superheroes in New York saw when the Void spread? Because he pretty much got through most of the U.S. at least, right? Parts of Canada too, I think it was.
It was a big span. But here's the thing: everybody had to have come out of that traumatized.
But people like Peter Parker, how screwed up do you think he is now? What do you think he saw?
Since
what about Daredevil?
Yeah, I was just about to say, since it was in his own mind, he can probably just suddenly see and stuff happening in there. There's a lot of heavy stuff. Probably childhood trauma.
That or Foggy's death.
Yeah.
See, this is what makes me want to know where we're at with Daredevil in the Thunder, in the MCU timeline, because I mean, this could be distant future. It could be a lot of different things.
This is definitely after Foggy's death. Though.
It's after Foggy's death. I think it's before Born Again takes place, just before.
Maybe.
I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can see that.
Okay.
But who else was in New York? Kate?
Jessica
in New Jersey.
It had to have gotten to Jersey City though.
Jessica's just there drinking. She's fine with it.
Yeah. Frank.
Oh yeah. What do you think the
I mean,
Kingpin saw?
Frank said that
Vanessa.
Frank said he
Yeah.
constantly sees his kid saying, "Get him, daddy," when he's shooting criminals.
Oh
So who the
yeah.
hell knows what he saw?
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh no. The trauma of seeing police officers using his symbol.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
What other superheroes
Oh,
are
Doctor
different?
Strange.
Oh yeah, I guess it would have gone through the sanctum.
No, he goes to the sanctum. He's like, Tuesday.
He
Wait, no, he's in the dark dimension with Clea.
thinking, yeah, he might be somewhere else now, but
Well,
we
as
don't
far
know
as we
anything yet.
know,
Yeah.
No, what did no wait no Wong Sorcerer Supreme. He's back in Comertage. Who knows what Wong?
Hopefully with Madison watching stuff.
Watching what The Godfather? No, not The Godfather. Sopranos.
Sopranos. I think they finished. I don't know, remember if they finished, but yeah, they're binging stuff.
I don't know.
oh
They probably watch Stranger Things together or something. That's probably what Yelena and Bob does too.
man, yeah. Well, Fantastic Four First Steps comes out in July.
July 26th when I am in San Fran. No, San Diego, not San Fran.
Yeah, but can I? I'm gonna admit this, and I should take my Marvel shirt off when I say it, but I'm actually looking forward to Superman more.
That's fine. That's fine.
I'm excited
The
about
issue is-
Fantastic Four.
Here's the I know spoilers about Superman, so that's why I don't know much about Fantastic Four.
Okay.
So that's why I'm excited for Fantastic Four at least. I
Makes
won't
sense.
spoil it for you. Don't worry.
Please don't. I am looking for. Listen, I have Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is close to our family, not just because we went to the premiere, but
Yeah.
it's been one of those therapies for our family. The trilogy has done a lot. Like people talk about emotional, watching of things and being able to resonate and resound. The Guardians of the Galaxy films are very close to our family, and James Gunn has been a character, a director that I have. When he was fired from Disney, from Marvel, I contributed to the billboard that they put outside of Burbank that said "Save the Galaxy, rehire James Gunn."
I love that.
I was listed by the alt right as an unsavory thing, listed right after Dave Bautista because I vocalized on Twitter at the time my support of James Gunn, and meeting him at the premiere was like full circle, and then hearing Safran talk about him and how he was excited about the DC studios and what they were going to do. I have never been more excited about DC in my life. And I started as a DC fan. So yeah.
It's funny because I still recall like being a little kid watching Justice League Unlimited and everything. Like I love Marvel more. Like I love Spider-Man. He is forever always my boy, except for right now because the comics are not great. But besides the point, I was always more of a Marvel kid, but I still remember like the spectacle and how popular DC was back then. So if you had told me that like Marvel would still be outpacing DC in terms of their media, I would not believe you. So the fact that DC's now pulling through ahead, it's kind of hype.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as we see, healthy competition brings good things for fans. We're getting Batman versus Deadpool here in comics, or vice versa.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing. Like, a lot of people are taking what was said. So James Gunn, as soon as he found out he was taking over DC Studios, he went to Kevin Feige first, and Kevin Feige gave his blessing. A lot of people are like, yeah, it's like James Gunn's going to mess up DC and he's going to go back to Marvel. That's not what it is. We are probably at a point where we are seeing the two studios probably being in a friendly creative competition. Yeah. Like I could see Marvel and DC at some point doing a crossover film, and that would that's more likely now.
It does feel more likely now
because of the relationship between them. But at the same time, like James Gunn is he's an ensemble director. He does really well. Scooby-Doo, Guardians of the Galaxy. But he's also done things before. He was an executive producer on Brightburn, and that was the film that made me realize that James Gunn and the people that he's attached to can do Superman, even though it was a grittier, dirtier, villainous Superman. He understood the assignment, the laser eyes, the superpowers, the super strength, like all of that made perfect sense. So yeah, absolutely. Like I am ready for this film, which we're talking about Marvel movies, but let's,
I mean, it's fine to have a little
we
bit.
love all of it. That's the thing.
Yeah,
We
exactly.
love all of it.
But my thing is with James Gunn, because like Guardians of the Galaxy, Peacemaker, Suicide Squad, he adjusts a lot of characters to fit his style of writing and comedy. But with Superman, that's a bit more difficult. So I'm most curious about that.
Well, that's probably where and why he has Guy Gardner in. So he
Yeah,
can
no, 100%. Guy Gardner's going to make a giant construct of a penis and drop it down on someone like they did with
Yeah.
Lobo in Injustice comics.
See, I think that's a good point. I think the Justice Gang is probably his outlet to prevent him from desecrating Superman. I think would be the best way
in
to
some
say
ways,
it.
I think.
Yeah. So,
or just more like it's his OCs or his stand-ins when it comes to writing.
Yeah. Well,
but like
also,
on the bright side, at least it's Nathan Fillion, and I love Nathan Fillion.
Yeah, but also remember Nathan Fillion when he does, like, if Nathan Fillion shows up in a James Gunn film, he's never going to be like a headliner. Like it's possible we could see Guy die in this film. I'm just saying. So
I mean, he is in the Green Lantern show apparently.
Okay, well that's good then.
Which is kind of hype because Nico's sadly not here, but I watched The Rookie and Nathan Fillion's in that. And what are Green Lanterns? A bunch of space cops.
The Rookie is an amazing show.
See?
Cop cutie.
Exactly. It'd be funny if he's humming that song too, because that show's owned by Disney.
Oh man. All right. Well, we are going into almost an hour, which I think is a perfect stop time. Just remember, if you enjoyed us talking here, please be sure to check out itsfanbox.com. You'll see other stuff posted there. Check us out tomorrow to talk about that finale for Doctor Who. Lot to be said. Still have to process my feelings and emotions on that one. But we'll be doing that tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern time, 11 Pacific. So be sure to check out that. Also check out The Real Study. You can also see the recording of After Andor for the last 3. In fact, watch all of them, because I'll be honest with you, the more you guys were doing the Star Wars show, it seems like the more people were getting involved, and if not, just trash talking in the comments. So that was perfectly fine.
The second to last one's 3 hours, keep in mind.
Yes. So you got to drive somewhere. Like, it's a podcast. You can listen to it.
That was a really important arc, though. So it was really good to have that kind of.
It was. We were talking about the Gorman Massacre.
Yeah.
Yep.
And if no one knows what they are, they're space French people. Just better.
Yeah. So that will be posted on the website. You can see that later on. It is on our YouTube channel. It will be also posting the audio eventually. This has been a very weird weekend for me, and so I'm a little behind on the normal processing and posting stuff. So just be aware of that. You will definitely be seeing it in the day or so. But with that said, be sure to check out itsfanbox.com, fanboxnetwork.com, to find out the other shows with us. And of course, guys, let's go ahead and wrap it up. Where can we find you?
Y'all can find me at Marvelous Johnny on all socials, except for Twitter, because we don't like Elon. And make sure you spell Marvelous with 2 L's, because I'm Canadian.
Yep. And this is actually marking one of the last few shows that we will be on X. We're not renewing our premium subscription, and which means we will not be streaming there anymore. So beginning of the month, you will not see us there. So be sure to check us out on YouTube and on Facebook. And we're probably I think we're on Twitter still. And we're going to be probably going on Kick and somewhere else. We'll figure it out. David, where can we find you?
I am Xanatos1138 on all socials, mostly TikTok and Twitch, and right here on It's Fanbox, doing a bunch of different stuff.
Yeah. And with that said, we will be talking to you guys as more Marvel movies come up. This will be a thing that we'll do, and eventually with other movies. Because I'll be honest with you, this is going to be a crazy summer for film. Whether it's How to Train Your Dragon,
we should
Fantastic
do one for Ballerina,
Four, Superman, Ballerina. Like it's a Jurassic Park Rebirth or Jurassic World Rebirth.
Yep.
Like, yeah. There's a lot to talk about. And if you're interested in being a part of this, be sure to check us out. You can reach us at contact at it's fanbox.com. I remember what it is. It's fanbox, itsfanbox.com. Just put in contact, or you can put in press. It doesn't really matter. And we will try to reply back and see if you'd like to be part of the show. But with that said, you guys have a wonderful night. We will check you all later, and come back to TARDIS Talk tomorrow.